one person who was not doing the sort of schlep, the sweaty schlep down parades, although I think he did do a rally this weekend, is Donald Trump. And this raises an interesting question that we wanted to talk about, which is, first of all, let's put up C3. Predict It, which I think is kind of a shameful company. I don't think we should be betting our politics. I don't like that to begin with.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I don't like that.
Not for the free market on this one?
Definitely not. And not really for the free market on gambling, period. But you see here that the odds of DeSantis on Predict It, so maybe you use Predict It, maybe you don't. It's like a New Zealand website that lets you bet on the outcome of elections and sort of politics in general. They put the odds of Gavin Newsom getting elected ahead of Ron DeSantis based on where things are right now. That's, people right now, the people who are Predict It bettors, the group of people who are betting on that website, they're saying Newsom has a better chance. So DeSantis numbers dropped 3 cents and Newsom's have gone up a penny in recent betting. But on top of that, the question of 4th of July parades, you have Trump, as Axios says, we can put up the next, I think this is C4, Axios says Trump is, quote, not campaigning at the pace of previous cycles, preferring to spend most of his days at Mar-a-Lago and Bedminster, that's in New Jersey, rather than grip and grinning in Iowa and other early primary states. Their headline is Trump's basement campaign. The Trump team vigorously denies this. Axios says, that Trump campaign officials have said part of the reason he is not holding many rallies is because they are expensive. Quote, they said something like $500 million a rally, or not billion, $500,000 a rally or something like that. Like some crazy, crazy number. But Trump he's held 4 events in Iowa, 5 in New Hampshire, 2 in South Carolina, and none in Nevada. DeSantis has had 55 events. Nikki Haley has had 59. Tim Scott has had 36. And Vivek Ramaswamy has had 102. But Trump has been at 30 despite being in the race longer than other people. So even so, Donald Trump, running what Axios has dubbed a basement campaign, still has a really healthy lead over Ron DeSantis, who has a decent chunk of money and is hitting these states really hard, and everyone else. In fact, everyone else, you can split up the votes, and it's the opposite. We've talked about this before. Trump is still healthily in the lead, as opposed to in the past. If you had combined all of those votes into one candidate, Trump would lose. It's the exact reverse of that this time around. And the guy's done 30 in-person campaign events.
I mean, I think it's a sign of the sclerotic decline of our nation that you've got 2 old men that the majority of the country don't want, that don't even feel the need to campaign or probably subject themselves to debates. And they're likely to win the party nominations.
That's a good point.
I mean, I don't know why Trump would do more events. He doesn't need to, right? I don't know why he would debate if he doesn't have to. He doesn't need to. I don't know why Biden would debate. He feels like he doesn't need to. For all their talk of democracy, like when it comes down to it, they don't actually believe in it. None of them do. So yeah, I think it's just a pathetic sign of the times, and probably Trump is correct in his analysis here. I mean, you've got Vivek Ramaswamy running all over Iowa. If you look at that map, he's been there like 80 times or something like that. But Trump just getting indicted, and CNN doing lots of panels, outrage panels about him. Which listen, there's plenty to be outraged about, but that's all he really needs to do in order to secure the nomination. So, on the predicted thing is also just sad. It's sad for Ron. It's obviously embarrassing for Ron DeSantis, but even the fact that people are floating Newsom, they must either think like, no, they can't just go with Biden. Come on, this guy can barely put a sentence together. Like, surely they're not going to stick with Biden. But guess what, guys? They are going to stick with Biden. Or they think it's likely enough that he would suffer some major health event or actually pass away, not something anyone is cheering for here. They think that is a likely enough outcome that they're like, and then I guess Newsom's in like the driver's seat. So, yeah, it's kind of amazing. I mean, I don't think that Gavin Newsom has a better shot at being president than Ron DeSantis, but I also don't really think either one of them has much of a shot at this point.
I wonder if actually it's not even a statement so much on DeSantis versus Trump as it's a statement on Biden's health in the predicted odds. Like, there's a real question there. And I genuinely think that's also why you have a lot of Republican candidates who thought it was a and a lot of Republican candidates, and we talked about this last week, a bunch of them are in the race, more than people even like predicted would actually pull the trigger and jump into the race and like have a super PAC, get the money, whatever. I think that's partially the reason. Even on the Republican side, Donald Trump is also pretty old. He's facing a ton of legal challenges right now. I don't think anyone sees any one of those legal challenges individually as being something that could tank his campaign. He could do a Don Blankenship, right, and probably still campaign even from prison if any of these trials like progress to that point.
Right.
But all that is to say, I actually think that's the reason why you've seen so many Republican candidates jump in too, because to your point, this is a really depressing sign of how sclerotic and just counterproductive our politics are right now.
Hey guys, if you like that video, go to breakingpoints.com, become a premium subscriber, and help us build the best independent media organization on the planet.
That's right. We're subscriber funded. We're building something new. We want to replace these failing mainstream media organizations.
So again, to subscribe, it's breakingpoints.com.